Today we are going to be talking about some of my first Warrior Cats OCs, 3 of them to be exact. I have had a lot, I've had a lot of Warrior Cats OCs, probably hundreds. Just funny ideas for names, cool names, clan ideas. I've put together thousands, probably. All throughout my childhood, I have just thrown the idea of warrior cats into every single part of my brain, and I have come out with many OCs, but I have a special place in my heart for the first 3. And these first 3, I don't know if they're all technically the first 3 that I had, but I will say that they are each cats that I made that I consider them to be firsts in each regard. So while the speed paint is going on, let me draw your attention to the side. So in the bottom left, there's a little image there, and that little image is of one of the characters we're going to be talking about, and that is Ravenwing. Ravenwing was my first Warrior Cats OC. I had read maybe the first 2 or 3 books at this time. This is 9-10 years ago at this point, and Ravenwing was just the name that I came up with, just a character I came up with. I think it might have been what I thought that Ravenpaw would have been called as a warrior, and I just kind of took that and was like, I'm gonna make a black and white cat, kind of the inverse of what I thought that Ravenpaw looked like. And so I created a kind of shameless self-insert OC named Ravenwing. And she was a ThunderClan warrior that was mates with Dustpelt, which compared to Ferncloud, while I do really like Ferncloud, any other character and Dustpelt probably would have been better, just because he gives me kind of an ick. It's borderline grooming, sir. Gives me a bit of an ick. So at the time, I guess he was also my favorite character. Now, not so much. So shamelessly, I gave him a love interest in my OC. The cat on the left, top left, is what I count as my second OC. I'm using air quotes, but you can't see it. And that is Meadowcloud. This was the first Warrior Cats character I ever drew digitally. Now, I say digitally, but clearly, and you can see how horrible this is, it's not a great image. I found someone's free line art online, or on DeviantArt or something, and I copy and pasted it into MS Paint and then just changed some of it. I'm not ashamed, because it was a good stepping stone to learning how to draw, but it definitely was very goofy. She's not great, and I had no story about her. I think a little bit later I came up with the idea that she was a Shadow Clan warrior, but who knows. The third and final character that I must talk about is personally my favorite of the bunch, and her name is Blacktip. I've never heard the suffix of tip be used before, except for myself 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when I made this character. She was named Blacktip because she was pure white and only the little tips of her ears were black. I have 0 fan art of her, except one piece that I made that was a digital art piece for like a story I was working on. But Blacktip has been lost to time. Unfortunately, that artwork I did of taking a cat online and photoshopping it with cool filters has never been saved, and I cannot find it, nor can I find a lot of Blacktip's story, but I can recall about this much. She was used in a Warrior Cats roleplay that I did on a website that I shall not name because I don't use it anymore and I don't want for people to rush it or whatever trying to look for it, because this has been like lost to history. It's lost media now. And I had joined this roleplay group, and basically Blacktip was my main character that I played as in this Beetleclan roleplay that had nothing to do with the original story, and she ended up becoming mates with the leader Blue Star. Not canon Blue Star, but Blue Star was the leader that was in this for ThunderClan, and he was played by someone else. But I, as a child, with absolutely no shame in the world, took Blue Star and kind of just attached him at the hip with Blacktip, and those two have kind of never been separated in my mind. It's always, yeah, it's Blacktip and Blue Star. And I even remember that I later mention on this, like, this is such a blast to the past. There was, on another website that I was on that I will not talk about, there was these old, Rate My Warrior Cat OC stories. I'm sure they're still out there. And it was a story or a group or whatever, and I submitted, I didn't submit Blacktip, but I submitted basically an OC that is Blacktip's daughter, that I will eventually one day talk about. And that was Hope Star. Half Star, sorry. Half Star's Hope was the story that it was for. And I got a lot of flack by this person that I now realize was kind of being extremely rude, because I had, quote, used too many canon warriors' names or something like that, unquote. And it really bothered me, because I was really insulted. I was like, oh, you mean I can never have a Blue Star or a Mothflight? Because there was another character in that named not Mothflight. And now I think that was just a way to bully children under the name of calling it criticism. If you want to have an OC that is named Blue Star, go right ahead. If you want to make another Tiger Star, knock yourself out. Who am I to stop you? Okay? I will, I personally avoid using any canon names if I can help it, but some of them are really cool or cute or just work, right? And I'm never going to stop myself from using a name that could be, quote, canon, unquote, because someone is going to get offended that I'm using a canon name. That's it very foolish. All of that aside, the actual, things you're seeing in the video are updated designs / updated story. Sorry, I don't mean to leave so much dead air, but I don't know what that loud squeak was. Okay. Hope that wasn't anything bad. It also could be my bird, but I put her to bed already, so hopefully it's not. I'm gonna go back to the video now. As I was saying, I kind of updated the story, characters, designs, all of that to make it more cohesive. Now, Blacktip canonically has always had a daughter that was never connected to the roleplay I did. This was kind of just stuff I wrote afterwards, that Blacktip and Bluestar had a litter of 4 kittens, and of those 4 kittens was Halfstar, and Halfstar was more of my protagonist, but Blacktip is kind of always tied to the fate of her daughter, which I think is very interesting. So, even though she's kind of been renamed, like, Black Ear, I think, in a few iterations, any story that she has will forever and always be tied to Halfstar. So I'm just going to talk about this in whatever Halfstar's previous canon was, which is the same universe as, and this is a real deep cut if you've watched my channel for a while, Sparkstar. Because a while ago, I talked about these OCs for a story that I was calling, like, Bloodied Paws. Not a fan of that story right now. Got a lot of things I would love to rework about it, but that's a whole rabbit hole. Basically, Halfstar was the leader of Beetleclan, and everyone that's usually canon to the, like, Halfstar universe, which is, like, her 3 siblings and her 2 parents, were all kind of there, or at least I know that her 3 siblings were. So I'm just going to put these characters into Beetleclan. That's a really roundabout way of saying that these characters are going to be in that cinematic Warrior Cat OC universe. I know that's a really roundabout way, but that's how we're doing it. So basically, I'm gonna try to keep the continuity of, we have Blacktip or Black Ear or whatever, that character is kind of our permanent fixture, and I decided to tie her design to Ravenwing, possibly as her mother. I thought that would be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now in my old notes for Bloodied Paws, just to make sure that I was accurate with this. And I have it right here that Halfstar is the daughter of Black Ear and Bluestar, so that remains canon. And for anyone interested, her 3 siblings, which I believe were 3 brothers, at least 2 I knew who were brothers. Midnight Pelt and Whitefoot were the 2 I know who are her brothers, and then Storm Eyes is of unknown gender. I believe possibly another brother, but it's also, I might have originally had it as a she cat in the origin of Halfstar, who knows. And then of course Halfstar has her mate and family that I'm not going to get into because that is a whole other deal. But yeah, so in this canon, basically Ravenwing is the mother of Black Ear, Blacktip, whatever you want to call her, which makes her Halfstar's grandmother. That's great. Which also means that because she is Halfstar's grandmother that her son-in-law is the leader of Thicket Clan Bluestar, and that she has 4 grandchildren, and then a group. I need to count this because there's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 great grandkids just through Halfstar, with 2 other through Whitefoot, because Whitefoot has kits, which is a lot. That's a lot more than Ravenwing originally had, and if I was ever going to work on that story again, I would love to shoehorn her in there to have more Ravenwing. Or I put Ravenwing on her page. I just noticed that. Oh no, that's so embarrassing. Oh well. That file has been saved and I cannot edit it. So enjoy that editing mistake. Oh no, I was thinking of someone else when I wrote that. That's funny. But Meadowcloud, our dark brown tabby cat here, is different. I think that she would just be a Meadowcloud. Meadowcloud would just be a Thicket Clan warrior / elder. I really debated back and forth on having her be possibly the other parent of Blacktip, but I decided against it and thought possibly that this is Ravencloud's second. I'm stressed, but I keep mixing up names. This is Ravenwing's second mate. Meadowcloud would be the second mate. Meadowcloud, Ravenwing's second mate, okay? Get it together. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm losing my mind. This, to go behind the scenes, this Russeteagle video is, kicking me. Really, I am so, out of it because I've been working on that video for a while, and I can't wait to be done. But basically, Meadowcloud, I think, would also have been the mentor of Blacktip, Blackear, whatever, and that's kind of possibly how she and Ravenwing ended up becoming a lot closer, because they ended up spending a lot of time together because they both care about Blackpaw. It's cute. I love it. I if you have seen my Beetleclan video, you know I am very very for old lady lesbians. So yeah, this is just kind of a shameless little video. Hear me rambling. Here's some here's some River Witness lore. And yeah, this Russeteagle video is most definitely coming out Saturday. I'm very stressed out about it, but that is not for you to worry about.